it's cold outside. Got to go but baby, it's cold outside. This evening has been hoping that you drop in. I'll hold you.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your boy Mac. You're listening to Shimo on BFAM 109.6. Tonight we have an extra co-host, my second wifey, Katrina. And as always, my girl Nikki. She's in North Carolina, Asheville. Listen, this show talks about BDSM, we talk about fetishes, we talk about sex, but we don't talk about the one thing that gets you to all those different points, dating. So tonight we will be covering dating honestly, how to give you some good, honest dating advice, right? Because for you can play, you got to know who the hell you're playing with and why. We'll be back in a moment with Shimo on BFAM 109.6. Talk to you in a minute. Did we lose him?
Don't know where David went. Hi, Fern. There he is. There he is.
Man, it doesn't show signs of stopping, and I'm not missing.
I was typing at the same time, man. You caught me typing. Fern came in.
Hey.
That is that's what he is.
Oh, by the way, Tiny called me. She's so excited about that book.
Cool.
She actually bowls with me and Nate. She actually bowls with me and Nate.
Oh,
so, yeah.
So we can just give the book to just give the book to DC. He'll give it to her personally.
Yeah, that was
Pretty cool. Yeah, so we can save on shipping charges when some bowlers win. You guys can just transfer with me, and we'll just bring it down there.
Yep, cool.
Right.
So is Nate a good bowler?
Yes.
Alrighty then.
So
you met his wife. You met his wife then, Lainey.
Negative.
Wow, 5 years and you've never met his wife?
Never. He's a player.
Girls allowed.
He is absolutely. If they're, I'm gonna say it like this: if they're swingers, he is definitely shopping at the bowling alley.
Gotcha.
Oh boy.
Point taken. Well, I guess everybody wants to get their ball polished.
Ha ha! He'll be here all night.
That's right.
I mean,
Yeah.
So I was in a bowling league for years, but really we were a drinking league with a bowling problem. So I've heard all the jokes. It was sin night, service industry night bowling league. Every Monday night we play side games for bar tabs at the bowling alley. No joke. Like first person to get a 7-10 split. We'd have bingo. We'd have any number of other things, and you could win anywhere from $20 to $100 bar tab there at the bowling alley.
You ever seen anybody at the bowling alley go like? You ever seen anybody at the bowling alley go like this? Hey, I'm a split liquor.
Can't say that I have. But then again, we're all drinking entirely too much to pay too much attention to each other. So
that was the name of our bowling team, the Split Lickers.
Oh, wow.
Lord have mercy.
20 seconds. The Split Lickers.
Right.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Shimo. I'm your boy Mac, and again, we have my second wifey there, Katrina, and my first wifey, Nikki. They're in Asheville, North Carolina. It is cold as hell where they're at. I'm not freezing like they are. So tonight we're going to talk about all the things.
It's an excellent bowling league.
Yeah, we are going to talk about all the things tonight that gets you to the next stage. So everybody knows that the show, we talk about sex. Yes, we talk about sex. We talk about different fetishes. We talk about BDSM. We talk about relationships. But before you can have any of those, you actually have to date someone, or at least get to know someone. If that's your form of dating, is hey, a meet and greet, that's fine. If your form of dating is 90 days, then hey. So let's start off with the very first thing. See, they're already over there messing around. The first thing I'm going to tell you when it comes to dating, you should worry less about if you like someone. I mean, if someone likes you, you should be more worried about if you truly, truly like them. A lot of people, when they meet someone, they always, oh, I wonder if they like me. If I really like them, I want to care about them. But the issue here is you're already putting in more than you're getting back, and that can be quite a problem. I've always said I won't do one-sided relationships, and I truly mean that. I've done them before, and they're lonely as hell, even when you're with somebody. I think my partner had a relationship like that. Am I correct? Once you were dating someone, it was really just you by yourself doing everything. I think you told me about a guy. He didn't do anything inside the relationship. Everything was on you.
Yeah, he was. I think he was dating himself. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Some people, I guess, entirely too self-absorbed.
Or just too lazy.
That too.
I've dated a couple of guys that were basically just moochers. Like, they were perfectly happy to let me do all the work in every regard.
Yeah.
Right.
And they weren't ever mean or rude to me or anything like that. It was just like after a couple months, I realized I'm literally doing everything.
Like, you don't
I'm
want to plan
all
the dates.
I'm doing all the cooking, all the cleaning. I'm planning all the dates. What the fuck?
It's almost like the same as saying you want to get engaged, but you go out and buy your own ring.
Yeah.
That.
Okay. The next thing that I'm going to tell people they should really think about, and I hope everyone really takes this statement to heart. Rejection is not as personal as it feels. Liking someone or being liked is more about compatibility than inherent worth. I'm sorry, I couldn't get the word out. Inherent worth. The biggest problem that I find in most of the situations where I'm counseling people is they want to be liked so much that they overlook the fact that you truly don't have a lot in common with this person. I get it. We men are physical. We truly are. We go on physical before we get to emotional, whereas most women, not all, most women go with emotional connection first. They're attracted to you, but then they connect with you. And if they can't connect with you, your ass is put in the friend zone. It's just that simple. But a lot of people don't take rejection well. I'd rather tell someone right up front, I like you, you're cool, but I don't think this is going to work, rather than wasting your time. But a lot of people will string you along just for sex, for money, for a place to stay. Oh my God, what did I leave out, babe? Because people will string you along for so many damn things.
Sometimes it's not
they can gain.
Yeah, but sometimes it's not even a matter of stringing along. Like you said, it's not, the rejection isn't personal, but so many men react in such a violent way to rejection that sometimes women are just scared to say, no, I'm not really into you.
Yeah. I had a guy actually scream at me in a bar because I wouldn't let him buy me drinks. He told me that I needed to learn how to let other people take care of me. Like, he got mad at me about it. And he'd been somebody I'd been friends with for half a dozen months already. And I knew him and I drank with him.
So buying you a drink was taking care of you?
Well, it was weird. He was always offering to buy me drinks, always offering to pay for my cab, always offering to take me out to dinner, just as friends. But he was always offering to pay for things. And I won't do that. I make my own money. I'm fine. I don't need you to buy me everything. And one night I was just like, I got my tab, it's fine, because it was high, because I can drink. I wasn't trying to have him pay my $60 tab and then tip and owe him that. And he got really, really mad at me. Like, he screamed at me in the bar that I needed to, you know, just relax and learn how to let other people take care of me. He got hostile with me, and other people around us got freaked out. Like, they were totally shocked by his behavior. But he was really pissed at me because I wasn't interested and wouldn't let him pay for shit.
I've had women do that to me also, which was weird because I didn't understand it. I guess it threw me off because I've had women like, oh, you don't like people buying things for you. You don't like people doing things for you. What's why you like that? What's wrong with you?
Wait, no. See, you are a totally different no.
But I've had women get upset with me.
Okay, but no, think about when we first got together. You have I don't even know what it is, but like it's hard to gift you something. It's almost like you think something's attached to it.
You're expecting strings with everything.
Well, and that's only because
like you can't just do something because you think because you want to be nice.
Well,
like,
and I have to be honest, but I explained that to you, and I even told you the situation. Every time someone did get me something, there was a string behind it. There was something behind it. And I was just like, well, damn, I got you this because I care about you, because I was thinking of you. I saw it. I knew you liked it, blah, blah, blah. But every time with them, there was something behind it. And I didn't like that. I mean, it was like the woman who brought me the Rolex. Because I would not be at her beck and call, she got upset. And I was like, well, here, you can take the damn Rolex back. I got a bunch of watches. This doesn't mean anything to me. It's just a watch. I don't care. It costs $2,800. It's just a watch. So, but that's me. Let's move on. So the next piece of advice I'm going to give you is this. Stop choosing what isn't choosing you. If it's not mutual, why pursue it? I've never understood why people will run after someone who doesn't want them. I mean, I know men, we do this because we're hunters, or most men are considered primal hunters. And our goal is prey. We hunt. We do that. We try to convince them, move them, caress them, charm them, serenade them, whatever. But I've always been of the affliction that if they're not into me, why the hell am I trying to be with them? At no given point are they going to say, oh, you know what? You brought me a car. I think I can start caring about you now. Nah, I'm good. Go ahead.
I think there's like levels of it though. Like romancing someone is one thing. Like you said, like bringing flowers, writing a song, like showing that you care, showing that you're interested in more than just hooking up with them. Like you're devoting time and thought and energy into this person to help prove that your attraction is, has actual depth to it instead of just a booty call.
Right.
But there's also then the people who don't ever give up, who stalk you, who are always where you are, but they're not doing all the nice stuff. They're doing all the crazy shit, like yelling at you because you won't let them buy you drinks.
Or you also have the women who enjoy being pursued. Like they have no intentions of ever actually like going, like dating a person.
So many of them with ours,
but they like being pursued.
They like the attention.
Like, the attention they get from it.
And all the gifts and
God.
all of that.
I'm not even lying to you.
Which I think that's horrible.
Yeah.
That brings back such bad memories because I remember so many different people that I met that were like that. And it's
people took him a lot to say people.
Yeah, I'm going to say people.
But there are men like that too. There are men
like that too.
I dated a guy who was like that. He loved the attention. And he made you feel special when he paid attention to you because you saw how many other women were always paying attention to him. And he would be casual and friendly, but he wouldn't extra attentive. So when he was extra attentive to you, all of a sudden you were like, oh, he likes me. And you try even harder to impress him and to make him like you more, even if you didn't actually like the guy underneath. Right. You just had a persona that everybody wanted.
You're right. And I've dated women like that. And the funny thing was that they were just the same way, but then they wanted you to show them more of your affection by buying them things or doing things for them. And if you didn't show those things or buy those things, then they actually caught an attitude with you. They would get upset.
Yep.
So
you weren't paying proper homage.
Yeah. So it's
Thank
about
you. That- I
figuring
could
out
not
what's
think of what it
real
was.
pursuit and real interest. It's about figuring
Right,
out what's
'cause if
real
you-
interest and what's real devotion versus what's attention seeking and what's self gratifying on their end.
Yeah, it's amazing to me that so many people actually put themselves in that spot, and and then they're upset because they've spent this money on trips, or I've known people who genuinely co-signed on stuff for someone they liked and cared about, and now they're stuck. That person
But see, that's trying
moves
to
on.
buy love and affection. And you cannot buy love and
that
affection.
also starts getting real deep into like how they grew up and how they were treated as kids and how they were treated as adolescents and what kind of life did they have leading up to that. They're not grounded well in reality anymore. They're not grounded well. They can't pick up on people and cues.
I'm not disagreeing with you in any aspect of that, but it is amazing to me on both spectrums, male, female. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, transgender, LGBT, bi, pan. There's always someone who will, in my opinion, I call them energy and affection vampires.
Yeah.
They're just taking and taking and taking, and they're not giving back. They're not.
Yep.
They're just draining you. And at what point do you realize it's not mutual? It's never going to be mutual. I mean,
that depends on
so
what
funny to
level
me.
of delusion you're living in.
Yeah. Again, that starts going back to some serious psychology. But
Because think about how many people are in relationships and the other person does not know they're in a relationship.
yeah.
Yeah, true that. All right, hey guys.
In their head, they
you're
got this whole
listening-
relationship.
You're listening to Shimo on BFAM 109.6 with Mac, Nikki, and Katrina. In a minute, we'll be right back and we'll give you some more advice on how to have an open dialect and dating when it comes to meeting someone new. We'll talk to you in a minute.
That was the original version.
You know, Trina looks like she's
just
actually
lost.
going to
Fuck you. Fuck you. You're an ass.
So apparently, I didn't know this when I picked out the songs for this season. There was a bet about not listening to the original version of that song. You can only listen to covers. And if you heard it, you lost. So she was just telling me I completely forgot it was on your playlist.
So far, I've been good. All I've heard is covers. I haven't heard the original, so I haven't lost Whamageddon yet. Now I just fucking lost Whamageddon.
The penalties of hanging out with Mac.
Hey man, it's never
so
a boring day.
So many.
There's never a boring day.
You don't look like a Wham guy, Mac.
I used to listen to Wham all the time, especially when I was overseas.
That's by choice, though, because you didn't have much choice.
I think that song is the only song I know. But
No.
I don't know.
When I came back stateside, I listened to Wham.
You probably know the songs, but don't know who they were the artists.
Well, also keep in mind, I'm a child compared to you, so a lot of the big
Hey, don't be sitting up here and making it sound like I'm fucking robbing the cradle here.
Oh my
You're
God!
trying to get me arrested.
Mac,
Don't be
you
getting me arrested.
go ahead and taint the rest of your mustache gray. She just made you 80 years
like you're
old.
trying to have a cop come knocking on my door.
Man, I thought you said she was your friend.
I thought so too. I guess she mad because I ain't come down to North Carolina with Nikki.
Not that you're still in puberty. Do I look like I wear diapers?
Okay, we mess with both of our husbands all the time about them robbing the cradle. They'll be fine.
My husband's 10 years older than I am, yeah. I give him shit constantly. I don't know, baby. While you were discovering girls, I was still playing with Barbies, so.
Fern just said shots fired.
Yes, Fern is
All day,
right.
every day, Fern.
So
All
right.
day, every day.
Her husband's older too, though.
So you know.
Oh yeah, Fern. Well, God, Fern's husband's
She's on our
15.
side.
Yeah, she's 15, 20 years older. Come on now.
Coming in.
All right.
This Christmas,
I really like this one.
how much fun it's going to be.
I think I win the age game.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back
Yeah,
to the Shimo on BFAM 109.6. We're giving honest dating advice tonight. You know, I know you guys are always expecting something when it comes to the show on fetishes and BDSM and sex, but we have to
27
get
years.
you.
Yep, you
We
win.
have to get you to that point by giving you good dating advice. Because you can't play around with other people if you haven't got to know them. And I don't want you to be getting involved with people for the wrong reasons. I don't want you meeting people and they're actually taking advantage of you and realizing that this is not what they wanted, but they just figured, hey, why not? I'll go with it. I need you to ask yourself when you meet someone, you know, would I be friends with this person if I wasn't physically attracted to them? I mean, and think about it. Would you be friends with the person that you are actually attracted to if there was no attraction? Would you hang out with them? Would you go do stuff with them? And I need you to be honest with yourself about this. There are some people that you have met and it was all physical. And you truly had nothing else in common. This person, when they opened up their mouth, was dumb as a box of rocks, but they were hot.
We've all dated the dumb jock at least once.
No.
No?
See?
If they opened their mouth and they were stupid, all attraction disappeared.
You can tell them to be quiet.
I can't do. Have you met me? I need someone who will talk to me. If you can't talk to me, I don't want anything to do with you.
See,
Now, we don't have to have a lot of hobbies in common, but we at least have to be able to have a conversation.
Right. See, I'm like Trina. I'm like Trina. If there have been women that were beautiful models, fitness models, trainers, and when they started talking, I was like, oh hell, this ain't gonna last. And it didn't go past a few days to a week. I'm like, I can't do this. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Well, it didn't last long. I'm just saying I've done it.
Okay, but define dating, like.
Define your dating.
Or so?
Okay, yeah, I can't even do that. Week tops.
Yeah, see, you're better than me.
Couple
You're
of
lucky
nights,
if I
maybe.
get 6 days. You're lucky
But
if I
see,
can make
remember,
it 6 days.
I like my alone time. So the rest of the time, I just retreat to my own space.
Good,
You know,
but it just, I
that's
knew really quickly every single time. Like either I wanted to spend a whole lot of time with you, or I didn't.
Sex or sex dating.
Either one for me is both. Like I can't. If you can't have a conversation with me, then I can't sleep with you. Period. And I've dated guys that I never slept with because I could have conversations with them, and everything else was compatible.
Nikki, I told you that. I said, if you can have a conversation with me on the actual intellectual level, the more we talk, the more I'm attracted to you.
Yep.
Come on, we spoke for 90 days before we even had sex.
Okay, I didn't say we didn't.
She never called you a dumb jock.
No.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a reference. We spoke for a whole 90 days before. We never held hands or even kissed.
No. Sci-fi was our bond.
Yeah. During the time of talking, we realized we had a lot more in common just in sex. I already knew I was going to rock your world. I need to know if you were going to be there for a while or if this was going to be a short-term thing. See? I'm just saying.
Your husband and I.
Oh, okay. Well, yours is passed out already.
Doing a spouse swap.
The next piece of advice I would give.
Ask Richard about that. Yeah, by the way.
See, Richard needs to be sitting in the middle, y'all. That's what it is. Richard needs to be sitting right there.
Well, no. Her idea of a spouse swap was to send Richard to you, and I.
Oh, I'd be cool with that. Me and Richard would have a damn ball. So the next piece of advice. Yeah. The next piece of advice I would give you would be, you need to be clear on what you want to give in a relationship. And what I mean by this is not just what you want to receive, not just what you find you think is necessary, but what unique value do you bring to a partnership, your needs. Don't just think about them, you need to express them. I always say people will more than happily tell you what they want, but they won't tell you what they don't want. And that's important too. When it comes to communicating with the person that you find yourself attracted to or have an interest in, and you're starting to form a bond or a foundation or some type of relationship, you're always constantly telling him, hey, I like this, or telling her, I like this, or I want to do this, or this is how I feel. But how many times have you turned around and said, hey, I don't like this in a relationship. I don't want this in a relationship. I don't expect this from my partner, but I do expect for them to do this and this. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people, I've come to realize, assume that the other person knows what they want and need without expressly opening their mouth. Many, many times I've said this to my partner. I went to college, I graduated, but I failed ESP 101. I failed that class multiple times. I took it 3 or 4 times. I failed it. So you got to tell me what it is, because I don't get it. You got to say what it is. I'm not trying to figure it out.
I think it's probably more important to say what you don't want than what you do want, because what you don't want creates your boundaries.
I agree with you. Saying what you don't want does create your boundaries. But at the same time, people need to be able to express to them, hey, I have value within this relationship, and this is what I bring to the relationship. I need to know that you are on the same wavelength and you're bringing that same type of value and understanding and communication to the relationship.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I think that happens in a lot of different ways, though. One of the ways that Richard and I worked that out was just in basic dialogue, in talking about, how we feel about this, that, or the other, talking about past relationships and what we didn't like about them. Not necessarily ever saying to him, like, I don't like this and I don't like that and I don't want this and I don't want that. Like, more of just sort of talking with each other about our lives and what we believe and what we think and how we feel about all kinds of things. So I think there's lots of ways to broach that subject, but you do have to be really honest with yourself before you try and have that conversation with your partner, because it's really easy to lose somebody or to get too involved with somebody by not being honest with yourself about what you actually don't want and won't allow. I've been in too many relationships where I let that happen, where I kept letting things slide.
But so many people don't even communicate that in the beginning, or even, let's just say, hypothetically, I met Nikki, we started talking, but at no point did I sit up and have that kind of conversation. I just decided, or we decided, hey, we're dating, we're in a relationship, but we never even communicated what type of relationship we're looking for, or what we won't accept in a relationship. We're just dating. So now all of a sudden, a situation breaks out and we're angry and upset with each other, but we never established what was and what isn't. And people tend not to do that because they assume that their partner should just know. Well, and that's not true.
I think that depends on the situation and what kind of breaks out, because there's basic ground rules that most people should cover when they're dating. Like, I'm not polyamorous, so if I'm dating somebody, either up front, I want to say, like, if we're seeing other people, that's cool, but I prefer not to have multiple sexual partners just out of safety. Like, and if you want to do that, let's just have a dialogue about that. If there's no big emotions involved, that's fine. But I just would rather not do it out of safety. But it's most of the time when big things happen, it's because there's been big events more than just like miscommunication.
All right. For instance, communication always comes back to be the key factor. Yeah,
always. I mean, it's a human. Yeah, that's a human condition. You have to communicate about everything, no matter what your relationship is with anybody. Work, romantic, platonic, parent, sibling, like communication is just key. It's just reality.
All right, the next thing I'm going to discuss that I think people should know is know what you want from a partner. What are your negotiables? What are you flexible on? Then communicate that to them. Now, both of you ladies have dated prior to being with someone on long term. Did you always let them know, hey, this is something that I'm hard firm on. This is something I'm willing to be flexible on. This is something we can talk about if it pops up, or do those things never really came up?
Well, I mean, this one and the last one kind of tie together.
Right.
To me, like it's all the kind of the same stuff about being honest with yourself and what you will and won't allow from another human being and how they treat you and how they treat your relationship, romantic or platonic. Because I have friends I've had friendships in the past where I wasn't clear with myself and I kept allowing them to be shitty to me because I wasn't honest with myself about where my boundaries were. And so having that same conversation with your partner down the road is key too. I've definitely had relationships where I haven't had that conversation simply because I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere serious. Okay. That this was casual. If it ended, it ended. If it didn't, and it was casual for a while, that's cool. But I wasn't in love. I wasn't going to be falling in love with them. So having the big conversations wasn't important because it wasn't ever going to go anywhere.
I find that more relationships that are like kind of lifestyle based, those conversations tend to happen on the front end. Like everyone goes ahead and gets out their hard limits, their non-negotiables, all that kind of stuff right up front. So that like if you don't want it.
Yeah, if you're dating for a lifestyle, that makes sense. Like I said, I'm not in a lifestyle. So for me, it's always either casual or I'm looking for this to be a serious committed relationship. And if I knew it was going to stay casual, why have those big conversations?
Well, I think this is a big one, and it's a really important one. Stop being shocked by repeated behaviors. For example, if someone continuously shows you they aren't a good communicator, stop expecting them to be a good communicator. Yeah. Notice patterns and believe what you see.
Yep. Again, that's.
How many times have we seen red flags or situations like this, and we just, it's not that. It's okay. That's not what they meant.
I'm imagining it. Yeah.
Right. So I need people to notice what a person does and says and take it to heart because that's who they are. I understand a joke is a joke and they're playing around, but some things aren't joking. Hey guys, you're listening to Shimo on BFAM 109.6 with Nikki and Katrina and Mac, and we will be back momentarily to continue this conversation.
Santa baby, just slip a sable under the tree. For me. Been an awful good girl. Been an awful good girl. Santa baby, I'm pouring down the chimney tonight.
Fern said insanity is defined by doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Yep. Absolutely.
She hit that one right on the head.
Well said.
And that applies to every relationship, family especially, like not just dating, but I feel like so many people allow their family to do that to them, which is why they allow their partners to do it to them because they keep accepting that from their family. So they think that it's normal and they think that it's okay because their family is doing it.
You know, that
Right.
I saw someone say, you know, we've got to stop doing the, well, that's your mom or that's your dad. No, I'm still required for you to treat me like.
Yeah, like there's lines that have to be drawn in that regard. Like, you know, yeah. There's,
Like,
I mean,
do
there's
that.
just, yeah.
Right.
There's just lines.
All right,
Just
I got a
like
couple
my grandma was
questions.
one of them. Like my mom's
Questions,
mother, she
Max.
just
All right. What's the
Max and
question?
Nikki, who's older?
Who's older? I'm older.
Trina, who's older? You or your husband?
I'm sorry. Why do you need? We
Who's
just had this
older?
topic. My husband, he's 10 years older than I am. Do I?
I don't care how much
We
older.
look the
I just
same
want to know
age.
that.
He looks a whole lot older than either one of us.
Okay. And then is Fern the young one and her husband's older too?
Fern's husband is
Yes.
older, and Fern is the youngest of all three of the women's here.
So we got 3 cradle robbing women here.
Or you
Robbing
can say it
men.
differently. You
Cradle
got
robbing
3
men.
women who like mature men who got their shit together.
Okay. All right.
Do they have their shit together?
Are they
Did I miss
mature?
that part?
I know my husband doesn't follow under mature.
Not mature.
Shit together, maybe. Mature, not so much.
Yeah.
My husband has maturity.
Neither of y'all are mature. Sorry.
Mm-mm.
Hey, we got 2 out of 3, damn it.
I'm happy they just
That's right. Isn't that what you're always saying? You got
I
at least
think
2 out of 3.
Thomas said leave me out of this.
That's very. I don't know
Hey,
you. I should.
Thomas,
know
you're
you're
guilt by association,
We'll leave it at
bro.
that.
Guilt by association.
Coming in. That was
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
giving you a pass. You can leave it all on Mac then.
Not even a mouse in my mind.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Shimo on BFAM 109.6. You're listening to Mac, Nikki, and Katrina, and we're talking about dating advice. For those of you who have not watched all of our different lives on Wednesday or heard the podcast, there are books out there that you can get for dating. All the advice in every book isn't going to be for everyone, but you should consider at least reading some books or getting some information from people who can help you to honestly, openly get good advice to move forward in a strong, solid relationship. Now, if you want to get any one of my books, you can find them on Amazon and Kindle. The first book is The Mask Not Often Seen. And we actually talk about different masks that people put on to show you what you want to see so they can end up being with you. And then I show you how to see through these masks and work through and get rid of this person out of your life or change that person. The second book is called The Invisible Mask. And that's the mask that most people wear when they have went through a hard breakup. And we always put on that face of, I'm okay, I'm good, don't worry about me, I'm all right. But behind that mask, you're broken, you're beaten down, you're hurt, you're torn apart. And this book will help you actually rebuild yourself and find and rebrand yourself and find the right person for you. And sometimes that's what's necessary. Sometimes you have to go back to the basics and start all over and rebuild and rebrand to get yourself out there. I know a lot of people don't like to admit that. They don't want their friends to see they're hurt. They don't want them to see that they're broken. They don't want their friends to know that someone can actually hurt them because they're the strongest one of the group, but it happens to all of us. Mostly men who want to hold and show that it don't bother me. I didn't really care that much anyway. That's a lie because we heard just like you guys heard, but we're told not to show it. And in my opinion, this is my honest opinion, doesn't make me right or wrong. I think that's wrong. Having friends there to walk you through it, to comfort you, to take your mind off of it, to show you your value and your worth as a person in the male arena is good. We like to put up so many facades and predicate that, oh, I'm all this and I'm all that. But that woman, that simple, small, beautiful, complicated, angry, upset, diminished person can break you down into so many pieces, things that you never even thought that could happen to you. I may be wrong, but there are books out there for everyone. And even if they're not my books, you should consider getting some books and reading books on um, relationships. I think a great book, and this is just one for me, and I'm gonna let each one of the ladies put out one of their books. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I think it is the perfect book. I read that book twice, and it broke down and simplified men in every form, shape you could think of. And to me, it was so dead on. Because women, when they talk, women are so polite when they talk. They would let the other person stop talking and they talk. Men, we just talk. We don't need for you to stop talking for us to say our point. And that book expressed just how men are like that and how men and women think and talk so differently. The biggest issue when I first started dating my partner, we communicated the exact same message in different ways.
We still do that.
We still do it, but we're better understanding. We're better at it now, knowing that we're saying the exact same thing. We're just saying it in different ways. We're a lot better now. So, Katrina.
Fern says The 5 Love Languages is a book everyone should read.
See, Fern's on her. So, Katrina, what would be a book that you would suggest that someone should read as far as dating and relationships?
So I would actually say that like everyone should read a couple of different self-help books, believe it or not relationship books. Because you can't have a good, solid, healthy relationship with another person if you don't have one with yourself. If you can't be honest about who you are with yourself, then you can't have an honest relationship with anybody else. It's just not possible. That relationship is always going to be filled with secrets, with masks, with facades, with layers and layers and layers of complicated bullshit, because you aren't honest with yourself about what your boundaries are, who you are, how you feel about things. So before, and I'm not saying like you have to be completely healthy with yourself before you can date, just try to do this at the same time. Like figure out who you are and what you want at the same time that you're figuring out who you want and who they are.
Right.
You can't, you can't have one without the other. So one of my favorite self-help books is called Let That Shit Go. And then you can find it on Amazon. And it's just brilliant and it's easy, but it's really honest and it makes you think. It really makes you think because it gets to the core of everything in a really simple way without a whole lot of flowery psychological crap. Like it's just straight with you. And so you should really date yourself first. Yeah. Absolutely, friend. That's Definitely. That's it. You got to figure out what you like and what you want and who you are before you even try to find somebody else to fit into that.
Nikki, what's a book for you?
So even though she is a very interesting person, people either love her or hate her. But Dr. Laura wrote a book years ago, and it was called 10 Stupid Things Women Do. And it talked about like the things that women do to basically try to get people to love them and costing themselves in the long run. Financially, physically, emotionally, sexually, everything. So again, along the lines validation. Of more self-help than relationship, because like she said, if you won't date you, why would somebody else date you?
Exactly. And it's like society has put this whole weird concept into our heads that women's self-worth is completely dependent on our appearance and what we can do for other people. Mm-hmm. Society doesn't talk about who we are underneath and what we should want from other people and what we should be receiving from other people in order to be healthy and sane and happy. Like, I think one of the reasons this country has such a huge mental illness problem is because we're promoting all this fake bullshit and what you should look like and what you should be doing instead of who you need to actually be. So dating is becoming increasingly difficult because nobody's honest anymore. We don't know how. We're told not to be. We're
And
told
the
to do
fact
something
that
else.
most women are told that they're not complete until they have a husband and children.
Yes. God, fuck that shit.
So
Yeah, that's a bunch of crap.
in some
So-
minds, well, I can never be complete until I have these two things.
And I couldn't.
That's crap. That's crap. That's total crap.
Honestly,
'Cause
if I had
believed
tried to
that.
have those things before I did a whole lot of self work,
It's crap, but it's crap that is being
constantly
spewed into
pushed down our
young
throat.
girls' heads, and they are growing
Stop
up
and
believing
really
this.
watch movies. Stop and really pay attention to all these Lifetime movies, to all of these Hallmark movies, to all of these feel-good romantic comedies. Every single one of them is about this woman who has her life, but then she's not complete until she finds a man and gets married. And it's bullshit.
Yeah,
it's
but-
bullshit. I love my husband. I love
but
my kids. I'm not saying no, but
life is in
I
the
was
movie.
fine before I met my
I get what
husband.
you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. I mean, the Hallmark Channel, and I forgot the other channel.
It's just subliminal messaging, and they've been doing it for decades.
Right. It's the same with cigarettes. You weren't a man unless you were smoking a certain brand of cigarettes. So I get that.
Exactly, Marlboro Man.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't remember.
That was my first
I'm gonna add to what you said, Trina, because what you said was so dead on. People need to understand you don't have to be perfect to be loved. Perfection isn't relatable. You can't connect to it. We all have flaws and vulnerabilities, and being able to own them is one of the most attractive things that a person can do. The right person will embrace the things you once felt you had to hide. I mean, I've always said this. I've always had this little saying in my head. We all have baggage. You just need to find the person that'll carry it with you.
Yep.
Or unpack it with you.
Yep.
That's healthier.
Well, yeah, unpack it with you either or. But a lot of people don't grasp that. They figure because they have baggage and they have all this other stuff going on, I need to keep this hidden. They're not going to like me. They're not going to accept me for this. And that's so crap. It is so crap.
My thing is, if you are attracted to me and love me at my very worst, whether it's emotionally, physically, whatever, then you're actually worthy of having me when I'm at my best.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, you should know, I've seen it at the worst. Yes, I have. Hair and all.
I was actually going to get that tattooed on me. If you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. And it goes, again, I keep saying this, but it goes for every relationship. It goes for your family. It goes for your friends. It goes for work. It goes for your romantic relationships. Like, if people cannot handle who you really are, Thomas is a good man. If people can't handle who you really are, crap and baggage and the whole nine, then they shouldn't be somebody you keep in your life, because then it's a toxic relationship.
Well, here's the problem with wanting someone to only see you at your best, right? So if you're dating someone with the intentions of being married or living with this person, home is as far as you can go. Like my grandmother used to say, you can't go further than home. So at that point, you have to turn around and fight. So if you can't go home and break down, have a bad day, be at your worst, because this person is here and you have to keep up this fake, idea of who you are, then at what time are you actually going to get to relax? You're going to drive yourself insane trying to pretend to be someone else all the time.
Toxic relationship, no matter what relationship it is.
That's true. That's true. All right.
Like I shouldn't have to fake it at home.
This is one of the reasons she's my wifey. Like, I don't have to clean my house. My house looks like shit. She showed up. She didn't give 2 fucks.
The last piece of advice I'm going to give is your love life is only one part of your life. Don't forget to nurture the rest of you. I mean, we all visualize coming home to a life of love and a great relationship. But really, what does that look like? And you should think about that. What does it really look like, and be specific? But I need you to understand, as Nikki said, you need to be able to be who you are in all facets of it, okay? Every part of your life needs to be nurtured, not just your love life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. Hey guys, you're listening to Shimo on BFAM 109.6. And when we come back, I'm going to be showing you what the gift we're giving away for the night. And hopefully you have been listening so you can win it, because I know some of you are dying to have it. We'll talk to you in a minute.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost.
Trina, you can't say anything about my music list because Nikki picked it. Nikki picked my music list.
This song just always makes me laugh because I don't think of chestnuts. I think of nuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at you.
Well, we're just dancing around the fire naked. That's possible.
Yeah, that's why I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, see,
Fern said, "What's her prize?"
That's fair.
Oh my God.
Hey.
Fern is on a winning streak. Like there's a whole lot.
She had 4 in a row. 4 weeks in a row. Fern is winning the damn prize.
Yeah. She's just quick to Jesus. I don't know whether she's like.
Hey, you guys, I'm gonna be going out I'll be going out really quick after Mac's show because I got another show starting in 15 minutes. So
right.
Great show as regular. Good to see you again, Trina.
You
Yeah.
Here we go. The fight begins. I was sitting here wondering.
I'm going to your address. What do you get?
You see I'm stretching here, right?
No, ready. Not that. Thomas just said she hasn't won yet. I was wondering what Thomas is doing on here with Fern, and I knew what it was right there. He's trying to win something over her. Thomas is trying to beat his wife live on. Thomas trying to beat his wife live on your show. This is awesome.
Oh man, I love that.
10 seconds coming in.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Shimo on BFAM 109.6. As always, I'm your boy Mac, and I'm hosting tonight with my partner Nikki and my wifey over there, Katrina. All right, so tonight's gift, and before we close out, is one of our T-shirts. I believe in the cross, and it has the St. Andrew's cross on it instead of the typical cross. Okay. So, the question I'm going to ask for you to win this T-shirt or in a different color, in a different size, is really simple. You have to name, at least, give me the title of one of my books. Just one of my books. Give me the title. So, and that being said, while we're waiting on that, Nikki, what would be some good dating advice you would give to our listeners? Just 2 minutes worth of good dating advice.
I don't need 2 minutes. Good dating advice. See yellow flags as red flags and go ahead and run.
Okay. Katrina, what would you say to our listeners as far as good dating advice?
Listen to what they're really saying and read between the lines. Pay attention to the stories that they're telling, like how they treat people. Pay attention to their friends and their relationship with their friends. And pay attention to their relationship with their parents and how they talk about them. And how they talk about their friends. Like, pay attention to what they're saying.
That is really, 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 really great. Fern, wrong. I had to tell you, Fern, that was wrong. My advice would be clear your house first. Take care of you first, as Katrina said, because that's how I got my partner. I sat down and went through my house, my mental house, my self house, my relationship house, my sexual house, and I cleaned it all up. And I went through and got rid of all the different garbage. I dealt with all the insecurities. I worked through the things that were bothering me and the things that I was looking for, and became more and more sure of what I wanted and what I would not accept and what I was willing to accept. Um, Start with you before you start with someone else. I agree with everything she said, because if you don't put down the first pillar and it's solid, everything you build around it
That
is
is
going to
correct.
fall and crumble
That's
anyway.
an invisible mask, not man.
All right.
Sorry.
Yep. I don't know who that is, David Clark. You need to
David,
tell
who's
me who
that?
that winner is. That was D. Okay, I actually thought he was saying it for somebody else. They like, hell no, I'm getting this shirt. Okay, David won the shirt then.
Shots were fired.
Yeah, Fern, he broke your streak, man. I really thought you was gonna have 5 weeks, Fern. Okay, really thought that. But the other thing I'm gonna say too is, please, people, when you meet someone, don't look for perfection. Nobody's perfect. There is no perfect person. They may be perfect in your eyes, but you need to understand they have flaws too. You just haven't seen them, or you're ignoring them. Nikki is so correct in everything she said. Also, yellow flags normally become red flags.
Yep.
Or they were already red flags and you just made them yellow flags.
That.
Okay? Because you like them so much, it wasn't, oh, it's not as bad as, oh, they didn't mean it. Oh, they were just joking. God, you don't understand them the way I do. You know, all that bull crap is still crap. In the end, yeah, you need to know who you're with, and you need to know that they're there for you 100%, just as you're there for them. And please, I'm going to say this again. Don't do one-sided relationships. Just don't. You're going to always be alone if you keep doing that.
All right.
You know, I think I said that to you.
Alone is different than lonely.
Yeah. And people need to understand that. The other thing I want to say is, you guys can reach us on Facebook, the Catalyst Solution Center, and that's Catalyst with a K. You can also reach us on the Mac McDaniel page. You can reach us on the Shimo page, which is spelled LASHIMO. You can also join the Shimo group, okay? If you want to be part of this group and know every time we come on live, please do. I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Catalyst Solution Center and Nightlife 24/7 podcast. You know, if it's on your mind, we're always talking about it. If there's anyone who would like to advertise their business, please contact me at the number that is scrolling across on the bottom of the screen. Also, if there's anyone who would like to sponsor the show, please hit us up by email or calling me on the number that is scrolling across right now on the screen. We'll be more than happy to get you, your services, and your products out there. So I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. This is Mac on Shimo with BFAM 109.6. We'll see you next week. Love you guys.
Bye.